Can we start, ma'am? Hello. Hello, ma'am. Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Ma'am. Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Good afternoon, all the student participants, respected principal, ma'am, Dr. B.A. Mehere, madam, principal, Dr. Ambedkar College, Diksha Bhumi, Nagpur, all my committee members of CEGC, Dr. Sawan sir, Mr. Parag Panse sir, Andreskar sir, and Puttivar ma'am. I welcome you all in this today's lecture on civil service examination opportunity for aspirant students. For today's lecture series, we have with us Mr. Anuj Singh. He is the director and motivator from Educulture India. In previous lecture series, there are various messages obtained from students how to crack the UPSC, MPSC examination and how to prepare for it. I just want to explain you the college in collaboration with MBA department from last 5 years. There is a one center. That center provides the different facilities to prepare the state examination and UPSC examination. So before I start the actual lecture, I request Dr. Bahadure sir. He is associate professor in our college. He is associated with that center in the MBA department and colleges from last year. From last 5 years running this center, in which there is a facility of seating arrangement, library facility, various other resources, magazine, etc. is available. So I just want to, I request Dr. Bahadur sir, just explain the details about this center, the facility and the various functions are going in our college campus. Dr. Bahadur sir.
Sir, good morning. Am I audible?
Good morning. Yes, yes, sir.
At the outset, I seek blessings of Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar and Lord Buddha, and welcome all the participants on this platform of Dr. Ambedkar College, Diksha Bhumi, Nagpur. The college has been accredited thrice by A grade level by NAC Bangalore, and this is all because of the novel activities we conduct throughout year in the interest of the students. We are supported by our principal madam, Dr. Mrs. B. A. Mehere madam, and coordinator of the competitive examination, Dr. Tilga Pallivar, my colleagues, Mr. Parag Panse, Dr. Savant, Manoj Andraskar, and many others. I also welcome Dr. Shri Singh sir, Educulture India, to the college, and we do have a lot many facilities in the library existing since the beginning of the college. In addition to this, as we know that competitive examinations are the only gateway to join services in different sectors. So far as competitive examinations are concerned, we believe that the flagship authorities, that is officers recruited through MPSC and civil services, they are the most important pillars of all happenings across the nation, because they are involved in planning and execution of different things. Okay, most often they are given to the local administrations. They are collectors in a district, or sometimes they are tahsildars on taluka place, and almost every other body which is connected with the admin part of the nation. So as we all in our daily lives also come across many such incidents where the role played by the administration stands very, very significant, and it is beyond everything. It is beyond politics. It is beyond the local nuances. But it is always done in the interest of the progress of the what we can say, the locations, the land, and their opinion. So far as a collector of a district is concerned, his opinion stands the most wonderful and also at the apex level of everything. So we believe that the college should go ahead, preparing such authorities from this institution, and keeping this in tight consideration with the academic activities of the college. We, it has been the 5th year. We have planned another study center in addition to what we have in the college libraries, a spacious, well maintained, well equipped, and full of all facilities which are otherwise required in a study center. and it is located in the west campus of the college, where we have another building, a fourth floor building, Dr. Ambedkar Business School. Now it is renamed as Dr. Ambedkar Institute of Management Studies and Research. And this study center is the brainchild of the Secretary of the Management, that is Dr. Param Pujya Dr. Baba Saheb Ambedkar Smarak Samiti Diksha Bhumi Nagpur. Our secretary believes in this, and he has a strong opinion that the college should be a pioneer in producing such authorities, and he is committed to provide almost every facility which is required for a perfect study center, where there is a perfect peace for study, a perfect environment, sitting arrangements, books, newspapers, magazines. Beyond this, we have made a practice that the students who are joining this study center, they are on periodical basis, say for on monthly or tri-monthly basis, we seek requisition from the students. उनको किस किस्म की बुक्स चाहिए है, उनका रिक्विजिशन भी लेते हैं हम लोग. And while this center was established 5 years ago, we spent more than 1.5 lakh rupees only to initiate it, with lots and lots of books and subscription of newspapers and magazines. So at the end of the college, there is no dearth of funds when it comes to the interest of the students, when it comes to producing authorities or civil servants from the college. We don't want them to recognize this institution that this is a platform from where they have come up. Rather, we are interested in knowing their own choice of career and supporting them by all means. So on behalf of the college, I wish to, put across to every participant. There are 126 participants to this program now, well planned by Dr. Tilka Pallivar, supported by Principal Madam and my colleagues. We should put across here that every student who is a participant in this program, I believe a couple of programs have been already conducted by Dr. Tilka Pallivar. This is the third program. I want students to come forth. They should come forward, meet the authorities. They can meet the coordinator, they can meet the principal madam, they can meet their classroom teachers, and give their valuable suggestions. What things and what facilities do they want? And the college will absolutely spare no trouble in getting all these things across on their table. The only thing we wish to confirm here is that when these many resources are provided by the college, keeping the necessity of funds always at hand, we believe that the students should commit themselves for a very, very meticulous part of their life. That is their, these days of younghood, to spend in proper academics. At the same time, they should prepare themselves to become an authority of any part of the administration that is run across the nation. On part of the college, I also wish to commit you that in the library, that is central library we have, there are already 2 or 3 more sections where we specifically have provided different sitting arrangements, computers, internet facility, and more than half a dozen racks are committed for keeping these competitive examination books. And there are a dozen of magazines and more than 25 newspapers we have subscribed in the central library, that could be of immense benefit to every student on the campus. In addition to everything what I have spoken to you, if yet you require any other thing, okay, that will lead you to the path of success, that will lead you to become an authority, to become a part of the administration at the topmost level or at the apex level of which is found wherever in a district or a taluka or in the state. Okay, so this college is a gateway. This college is a platform that will launch you to the apex position of the administration wherever it is possible throughout India. I congratulate Dr. Tilka Pallivar for taking this initiative. All my colleagues, Parag Panse, Puttevar Madam, Sawan Sir, Manoj Andraskar, okay, we all are blessed by a tight supporting hand by our principal. And with these words, I wish to conclude my little speech here. That this segment is introduced only to make all the students aware that what does the college provide. Okay, and most often we have a question why this college is different. So this college is different because it teaches difference. ये कॉलेज अलग क्यों है? ये आपको अलग होने का राह दिखाता है, अलग होने का रास्ता दिखाता है. So I congratulate all the students who have taken admission in this great college. Okay, and I request them all at the same time to join the study center, make complete and proper use of the resource centers we have in the central library, and without any hesitation just try to put your requisitions ahead. आपको जो भी चीजें लगती है वो चीजें आप बेझिझक यहाँ पर कॉलेज की अथॉरिटीज को बताइए, टीचर्स को बताइए, एंड आई एम श्योर कि कभी भी आपका जो रिक्विजिशन है वो खाली नहीं जाएगा। आपको हर बार ये प्रॉमिस मिलेगा कि वो फैसिलिटी जितने जल्द हो सके उतने जल्द कॉलेज की तरफ से आपके लिए एस्टैब्लिश की जाएगी। स्टूडेंट्स के लिए मेरा एक ही रिक्वेस्ट है कि जो भी रिक्वेस्ट आता है आप कोऑर्डिनेटर को, प्रिंसिपल मैडम को, टीचर्स को डालिए और आपके लिए वो फैसिलिटी क्रिएट की जाएगी। आज अपने साथ में जो एजुकेशन के सर है, सिंह सर, वो भी आपको बताएंगे कि ये रास्ता कहाँ से कैसे जाता है। बस उसके साथ साथ डॉक्टर अंबेडकर कॉलेज के रिसोर्सेज का सपोर्ट लीजिए और टॉप मोस्ट पोजीशन पर पहुंचिए। दैट इज ऑल आई वांट टू विश टू ऑल द पार्टिसिपेंट्स हियर। थैंक यू वेरी मच सर।
Thank you very much, sir, for your motivational speech for students. Now I request our dynamic principal, Dr. Mrs. B.A. Mehere madam, kindly speak on this occasion to the student.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Telka Pallivar, sir. And thank you, Shailesh, for giving an insight about what are the facilities that we have. So, hello, everyone. Hello, very good afternoon to one and all. I, Dr. B.A. Mehere, Principal, Dr. Ambedkar College, welcomes you all for today's webinar, or basically a lecture on civil services examination, which will be dealing with the future opportunities for aspiring students, which is organized by our college and our this competitive examination guidance cell, and which gives basically the insight about the competitive examination, how we will plan about these competitive examinations, what is the time management, when to plan, when to start for this examination. So we have with us a very eminent, or basically he's a very experienced in this competitive examination conduction and organization, Mr. Anuj Singh from Educulture India. Sir, welcome sir for this platform. Then our program coordinator and coordinator of the cell, Dr. N.G. Telke Pallivar sir, Shailesh Badure sir, Durga Puttewar madam, Panse sir, Sawant sir, Andaraskar sir, all this young budding team of my college, they are very efficient workers, they are very efficient, and they organize such nice programs for our students. They make them acquaint about what are these examinations. Now sir rightly said that this examination, basically we have to be a student should have certain leadership qualities, or they must be a leader, or they must be a prominent feature for the power to get through in an administrative work. Because if we have a leader, he will change according to his perspective, so that our student may get all these facilities through this cell. We will guide them. Sir, definitely the Anuj Singh sir will also guide throughout this journey how to prepare for this civil services competitive examination, because the aspiration should be from very initial stage. Some students come in the BSc first year, and if we boost them, if we tell them that how these examinations are and what is the power of this examination, and you lure them, you tell them about what are the facilities that we are providing, that Shailesh Badure sir has told about what many facilities that we have. We have so many newspapers, dailies, then our libraries, very well equipped. So all students must use this. They get the facilities from this our organization, from our institution. Always my teachers helpful to students. They provide them whatever books they want, whatever resources they want. We will make acquaint to all these students to these resources. So students should come to us. They may ask to our teachers for the competitive cells. The Telka Pallivar sir is the coordinator. They should go with him, interact with him about what are the resources that we have, and students should avail these facilities for their progress. Now we in COVID-19, all we know that most of the studies, most of the academic that we are doing is online, and students are sitting idly, not doing properly the classes and sitting. So they must decide their goal. They must focus on certain things so that they can aspire for certain examinations. Competitive examinations का खुद से बैठ के ही अगर सोचेंगे नहीं, किसी ने बूस्ट किया, किसी ने बताया, ऐसा नहीं होता है। खुद को अपना सोचना है, अपना गोल सेट करना है कि हमको ये एग्जामिनेशन के लिए तैयारी करनी है। अब इसके लिए तैयारी कैसे करने, हमारे एक्सपर्टीज हम बुलाते हैं, जो भी हमने बहुत सारे अभी तक के गेस्ट, हमारे शायद 3-4 लेक्चर्स हुए और हमने इतने गेस्ट बुलाए हैं, और स्टूडेंट्स बिल्कुल भी इसके ऊपर ज्यादा से ज्यादा उनका रेस्पॉन्स आना चाहिए, स्टूडेंट ने इसमें इंटरेक्ट करना चाहिए, स्टूडेंट ने पार्टिसिपेट करना चाहिए, एंड आस्क व्हाटएवर यू वांट, द बेसिक थिंग्स इफ दे आर नॉट नोइंग अबाउट द एग्जामिनेशंस, when they are conducted, how to prepare, what is the plan, what is the time management, everything should be taken care of with all these students. We are here to guide you all in every respect. जहां भी तुमको लगता है कि डिफिकल्टी है, यहाँ सारे लोग हम लोग बैठे हैं, तुम आओ और पूछो। अभी तो तुमको ऑनलाइन का लाइब्रेरी के बारे में भी हमारे पास क्या क्या फैसिलिटीज है, दैट वी विल बी गिविंग यू वर्चुअली ऑल्सो. वी हैव दैट प्लान, वी हैव प्रिपेयर्ड अ सर्टेन वीडियोस for that library, that what we have, what facilities and resources we have with us, सारे ही हमको पता है. और MBA में हमारा 5 साल से जो चल रहा है हमारा प्रोग्राम है उसके लिए, और हमारे कॉलेज का जो भी हमारा ग्रेडिंग है, हमारा एक्सेलेंस है, ऑल ओवर वी नो दैट हाउ वी आर प्रोग्रेसिव. और हमारे स्टूडेंट यहाँ एडमिशन लेते हैं and they know that what is the progress of the college and how the teachers take a pain. Every teacher is taking a pain for the excellence of the student. So excellent student के लिए जो बच्चों को aspire करना है competitive exam के लिए teachers are always there. You come to us, you interact with us, to me also. You can directly come to me, ask me about various examinations. I will guide you through my level जितना मुझे आता है, और मेरी टीम को. So सारी टीम मेरी तुमको हेल्प करेगी, तुमको बताएगी कि कैसे तुमको प्लान करना है. And students, it's an utmost I am telling you that you should decide a goal. तुमने सोचना है कि कुछ तो भी हमको करना है, कुछ एग्जामिनेशंस के लिए हमको प्लान करना है. सिविल सर्विसेज के लिए प्लानिंग जो है वो बहुत थोड़ा ज्यादा टाइम लेता है, पर उसका टाइम मैनेजमेंट कैसा है ये सब अभी जो हमारे एक्सपर्ट है अनुज सिंह will tell you throughout this 1 hour journey. He will guide you, and definitely I think my students will excel in this exam, and whatever they are aspiring in their future, they will do it. So with this positive note, thank you, sir. Thank you, Telkapalli sir, for giving me chance to speak. Thank you all. Thank you all my members of competitive examination cell, and thank you Anuj sir for coming here on this platform. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, madam, for your support and motivation for organizing such events for students. Now I request Mr. Parag Panse sir kindly introduce the today's resource person, Mr. Anuj Singh, that is director. He is a director and founder of Educulture India. Mr. Parag Panse sir.
Thank you, sir. A very pleasant afternoon to one and all present here. I am Mr. Parag Panse, a member of Competitive Examination Guidance Cell, Dr. Ambedkar College, Diksha Bhumi, Nagpur. Welcome you all. I find immense pleasure in introducing today's guest speaker, respected Mr. Anuj Singh sir. We are thankful to you, sir, for taking out time from your busy schedule to guide and to enlighten our students on today's webinar on civil service examinations, future opportunities for aspiring students. The presence of such personality in today's event is a blessing for us. Let me give a brief introduction of today's guest speaker, Mr. Anuj Singh sir. Mr. Anuj Singh sir is the founder of Educulture India, which is a competitive exam hub and also a UPSC mentor. He is a faculty whose specialization of teaching is current affairs and Indian politics. He was former associate to KSG IS Academy, Delhi. And he was also a business partner in Pearson India and Career Launcher Group, which are the leading institute in coaching in India. He is the founder of Master Career Institute, the future specialist. As far as educational qualifications are concerned, he has done masters in business administration. Apart from this, he chaired as a civil service interview and guided and trained thousands of IAS aspirants across Vidarbha region. We are sure that our student will be able to seek guidance from your kind suggestions, guidance on the preparation of competitive examination. So, with this, I hand over this session to you, Anush sir. Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Parag sir. I hope I'm audible enough.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. Thank you very much, Parag sir, Shailesh sir, and Dr. Tilka Pallivar sir, for giving an initial introduction about civil services and the event, of course, and Dr. Ambedkar College and the new center that the college has come up with. A very special thanks to Principal Dr. Mayor Ma'am for inviting me today to the prestigious institution, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar College. It is an absolute honor and it is a privilege to talk to students, talk to aspirants, and guide people on this wonderful platform. So my name, as Sir just mentioned, Parag Sir just mentioned, my name is Anuj Singh, and I have been a former associate of KSG Group of Delhi. And I'm also a founder of EduCulture India, which is another competitive examination hub. And I have trained and guided many IAS aspirants across Vidarbha in the past years. And Sir rightly mentioned, especially Shailesh sir has given a lot of information about civil services and how the procedure happens and how important the examination is. Even our principal ma'am has given a wonderful introduction about the examination. So starting with the session, I'm just hoping that all the students and all the aspirants that have joined us today, so they are very much comfortable with English language. Even though I'll try and make the session a bit bilingual by adding Hindi in between the process. Just in case still anybody has any query, anything, any issue, any complications in between the session, so you can immediately type in your queries or even speak out your queries. I'll immediately hold the session and revert to the same. Sir rightly mentioned, so today we are dealing with civil service examination, and it is always good actually to interact and guide students who are thinking of or who are even considering such examinations, considering government examinations, considering government jobs. So it is always a pleasure, it is always an honor to talk to such students, to talk to such aspirants who are looking forward to similar examinations, who are looking forward to getting into the government structure through this kind of a roadmap. So I would like to quote the legend himself, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. So once Dr. Ambedkar had mentioned that a great man is different from an eminent man, in the sense that a great man is ready to serve the society. A great man is ready to be the servant of the society. So this was a very great quote by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, Bharat Ratna Dr. Ambedkar. And I read somewhere that Dr. Ambedkar, while he was in London, while he was in United Kingdom, he spent some time in the United Kingdom as well, while his studies were going on and everything. So at that point of time, it is informed by the universities as well over there that Dr. Ambedkar used to study in his day's schedule. Dr. Ambedkar used to prepare and study for all the courses that he was doing over there. So he used to study at least 22 hours every day. And rightly, he actually conquered a lot of space into education. And in my personal opinion, I believe that he is the god of education, not just in India and abroad as well. Abroad in the sense that there are a lot of books of Dr. Ambedkar that are referred to into the curriculum of universities outside as well. So in my opinion, in my personal opinion, as much as all the information that I've gathered about Dr. Ambedkar, so I find him, I believe that he is the god of education. In my opinion, at least. So on this note, in the name of Dr. Ambedkar himself, so we'll start today's session wherein we are talking about UPSC. So UPSC, as the name suggests, UPSC stands for Union Public Service Commission. तो यूपीएससी में प्राइमरीली ऐसा होता है कि यूनियन पब्लिक सर्विस कमीशन इज अ बॉडी, इट्स अ गवर्नमेंट बॉडी which conducts several examinations in the calendar year. So throughout the year आप देखेंगे कि यूपीएससी की बहुत सारी examinations होती हैं and all the notifications are mentioned of course in the official website of UPSC. And one very important and very critical examination out of all these examinations, in सारी examinations में से one very important examination is called as civil services. So civil services primarily is responsible to recruit IAS, IPS, IRS, IFS and other such administrative officers. So ये जो class 1 officers होते हैं, these are recruited indirectly by the government of course and directly by the Union Public Service Commission through civil services. तो through civil services examination को IAS exam भी बोला जाता है because a lot of aspirants, majority of the aspirants जो इस examination में आते हैं, majority of the aspirants that come into it, so उनका desire रहता है that they want to be IAS officers before being IPS or before being IRS or before being any other cadre officers. They want to be IAS officers, and that is the reason, that is the core reason because of which इस examination को IAS exam भी बोला जाता है. So basically, we have divided, like in as per all my experience that I have dealt with so many students till now. So I have divided this session into two major questions. And the two questions I've got today, one is why exactly should students or aspirants think of civil service as a career? सिविल सर्विस करियर के बारे में एस्पिरेंट्स को क्यों इतने सिंसियरली सोचना चाहिए और व्हाई शुड पीपल थिंक इन दैट डायरेक्शन? दैट इज वन वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चन. व्हाई शुड द सिटीजंस ऑफ दिस कंट्री थिंक ऑफ सिविल सर्विस एज अ करियर? दैट इज वन वेरी बिग क्वेश्चन दैट वील बी आंसरिंग टुडे. द अदर क्वेश्चन दैट वील बी एड्रेसिंग टुडे इज व्हाट एग्जैक्टली इज सिविल सर्विसेज. जो स्ट्रक्चर होता है, जो सिलेबस होता है, जो पैटर्न होता है, we'll be elaborating, we'll be putting some light on this part as well. So starting from the why question, I've come across a lot of students, I've come across a lot of aspirants. बहुत सारे लोगों का एक अलग-अलग पर्पस होता है to get into this examination. कुछ लोगों को ये एग्जाम क्रैक करना है for their parents. A lot of students want to do it for their parents. Some wish to do it for the society, to make some changes into the society, to do something new in the society, like our principal ma'am also rightly mentioned. So some people wish to do it for the society, to do something about the society. Some wish to do it for power as well. Of course, it's a very powerful examination. आपको एक post मिलती है, आपको एक portfolio मिलता है, आपको power मिलता है. So some people wish to do it to gain that level of power. So they wish to get into this kind of an examination. Then there are some people who wish to do it for popularity as well. एक बार आप ये एग्जाम क्रैक कर लेते हैं तो आप बहुत ज्यादा पॉपुलर हो जाते हैं. You are extremely, people know you very much and you are like at the top of everything and everything. So there are a lot of reasons. There are multiple reasons, or you'll get thousands of reasons wherein people are actually thinking of these examinations because of those reasons. And what I personally believe, as per all my experience, is that people should have a purpose. Students and aspirants should have a very strong purpose of getting into this examination. आपके पास एक बहुत strong reason होना चाहिए before you actually think of such an examination, before you actually think of getting into such an examination. And ये जो strong reason, ये जो strong purpose, I believe personally that it should be a positive one. अगर आपका एक बहुत ही positive and optimistic reason होगा कि this is the reason that I want to, maybe let's take an example, do something for the society or do something to change my environment or do something good, to do something good in the country as well altogether, or in the structure, in the administration altogether. So that should be the primary thing before actually thinking of such an examination. That is what I personally believe. So जैसे अगर हम लोग बात करेंगे, जैसे if I talk about all the participants that we have, all the a very good number of participants that we have in today's session. So आज के जितने भी participants हैं, I believe they are, some are from arts background, some might be from commerce background, some might be from science background, some might be from law background as well. सो ये जितने भी मल्टीपल बैकग्राउंड के स्टूडेंट्स हैं आज हमारे पास इन टुडेज सेशन, so if you think of the time when you actually enrolled into your college, जब आपने कॉमर्स फर्स्ट ईयर में एडमिशन लिया होगा, और you would have taken first year arts admission or law admission, so I believe there would have been some very strong reason wherein you would have thought कि this is the reason for which I need to get into this kind of a stream. अगर कॉमर्स में if I talk about the accounting principles या फिर जो भी accounting होती है, जो taxation होता है, बहुत सारी चीजें होती है कॉमर्स से related, so I believe a lot of students would have thought that they need to do something different. They need to change some system. They need to change the existing accounting principles. They need to change the economics around them. They need to change a lot of things. Even if I talk about lawyers who are enrolled into law in this prestigious institution, so even these lawyers would have got this thought in mind at some point of time that they wish to get into this particular course, this particular law course, to do something about the law structure of the country, to do something about the law in their surroundings, जो law and order situation हमारे आसपास होती है, just to make something different out of it, just to maybe rebuild it, or maybe at least to maintain the existing structure. They wish to get into such a course. Same goes for साइंस पीपल एज वेल, जो साइंस बैकग्राउंड के हमारे आज पार्टिसिपेंट्स होंगे. सो आई एम श्योर अ लॉट ऑफ पीपल वुड हैव थॉट दैट साइंस बैकग्राउंड वाले they might have thought of becoming scientists, research scientists, or do something new, to evolve something new into the science field, say chemistry, physics or biology. So ये जो thought process होता है, either you want to do something new, that is one very higher level thought, या फिर आपको एटलीस्ट इतना केपेबल बनना है विथ योर एग्जिस्टिंग ग्रेजुएशन और पोस्ट ग्रेजुएशन और पीएचडी प्रोग्राम्स दैट यू आर एबल टू हैंडल, यू आर एबल टू मेंटेन द एग्जिस्टिंग लॉज or the existing accounting principles, or you are able to maintain the existing science related inventions that are already in place in the country and even abroad. So primarily this is how even civil service is. That is what I believe. ऐसा ही exactly civil service भी होता है, in the sense that if you see civil servants, so civil servants basically responsible होते हैं to rebuild their surroundings. Like even Shailesh sir just mentioned, the surroundings and the environment that is there around each and everybody. So you have to rebuild it. आपको उसको update करते रहना पड़ता है. You have to keep on changing things. You have to keep on changing as per the demand of that particular day. उस time के हिसाब से आपको बहुत सारी चीजें change करनी पड़ती है. And that is the reason the administration around you, अगर आप अपने आसपास देखेंगे, so a lot of things, new things are coming up every day. A lot of new things. If I talk to you, if I ask you कि when you were in 5th standard of your school, या फिर आप जब 4th standard में थे, जब आप स्कूल के अपने अर्ली स्कूल में थे, तो the world around you was very different. आपके आसपास जो पूरा स्ट्रक्चर था, जो मैकेनिज्म था, वो बहुत डिफरेंट था. आपके आसपास जो रोड्स थे वो बहुत अलग थे. आपके आसपास जो पब्लिक पार्क्स थे वो बहुत ज्यादा अलग थे. आपके पॉकेट में जो आइडेंटिटी कार्ड था, टुडे यू हैव एन आधार कार्ड इन योर पॉकेट. So that is a different card. ये आधार कार्ड उस टाइम पे एग्जिस्ट नहीं करता था. आपके आसपास you'll see the public policies. आप अगर कुछ खरीदने जाते हैं मार्केट में, if you go to the market, if you buy something, if you buy a book or you buy a car, so जो taxation system होता है, जो बिल आपको मिलता है, in that bill you'll find a different tax today. This was not the same tax which was existing in that point of time when you were in school, or maybe 15 years back if I talk to you, say 10 years down the line or 15 years down the line. So the situation was very different. आपके आसपास अभी बहुत सारे नए roads बन गए हैं, आपके आसपास बहुत सारी चीजें हो गई. Definitely there are more stakeholders in these things. Stakeholders in the sense, बहुत सारी टेक्नोलॉजिकली ड्रिवन चीजें आ गई है जो इंजीनियर्स ने बनाया है, बहुत सारी मेडिकल ड्रिवन चीजें आ गई है जो मेडिकोस ने बनाया है, बहुत सारी एजुकेशन रिलेटेड चीजें आई हैं जो एजुकेटर्स ने बनाया है, लाइक द एजुकेटर्स वी हैव टुडे विद अस फ्रॉम डॉक्टर अंबेडकर कॉलेज. सो देयर आर लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स, बट अपार्ट फ्रॉम दीज, the entire machinery of the country, the entire machinery of the state, entire machinery of your district, that has to be handled. आपका आप जाते हो आज की डेट में रोड में, if you go to the roads, you'll find different traffic fines change हो गए हैं, ट्रैफिक रूल्स चेंज हो गए हैं, बहुत सारी चीजें चेंज हो गई है. पहले आपको सीट बेल्ट कंपलसरी नहीं होता था, पहले आपको हेलमेट कंपलसरी नहीं होता था. सो अ लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स आर इवॉल्विंग अराउंड यू. बहुत सारी चीजें आपके आसपास चेंज हो रही है ग्रेजुअली, एंड दीज चेंजेस दैट यू आर सीइंग अराउंड यू, सो दीज, इफ आई आस्क यू, अगर मैं आपसे एक नॉर्मल क्वेश्चन पूछूं कि ये चेंजेस कर कौन रहा है, सो ऑब्वियसली यू विल कम अप एंड टेल मी दैट ये तो गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया कर रही है, या ये तो स्टेट गवर्नमेंट कर रही है, या ये मोदी जी कर रहे हैं. सो ऑब्वियसली I will not decline your point कि ऑफ कोर्स ये मोदी जी कर रहे हैं, ऑफ कोर्स ये गवर्नमेंट ऑफ स्टेट कर रही है, गवर्नमेंट ऑफ सेंटर कर रही है, बट देयर इज अ वेरी बिग मशीनरी जो आपके जितने भी मिनिस्टर्स होते हैं, आपके जितने भी आपके प्राइम मिनिस्टर हो गए, सेंट्रल में आपके बाकी सेंट्रल मिनिस्टर्स हो गए, आपके जितने भी स्टेट मिनिस्टर्स हो गए, इनके पीछे देयर इज अ वेरी बिग टीम दैट इज वर्किंग 24/7 एंड दिस वेरी बिग टीम इज फॉर्मुलेटेड बाय ब्यूरोक्रेट्स. सो ये जो ब्यूरोक्रेट्स होते हैं, फॉर एग्जांपल इफ आई टॉक टू यू अबाउट द एनुअल बजट, हमारा हर साल एक बजट आता है अराउंड मार्च एंड फेब, तो वो बजट में डिसाइड होता है कि हम लोग एनुअली द कंट्री, हाउ मच विल द कंट्री स्पेंड, हम लोग कितना स्पेंड करेंगे पूरे साल में, हम लोग कहाँ पे क्या चीज स्पेंड करेंगे. सो दिस एनुअल बजट दैट वी हैव एवरी ईयर इन द कंट्री, दिस एनुअल बजट a lot of inputs are provided by bureaucrats. बहुत सारे IRS officers होते हैं वहां पे which are part of the finance ministry's team which actually think throughout the year. वो पूरे साल में वो बहुत सारी brainstorming करते हैं and on basis of that they'll decide that this is a new sector where we need to put in our money this year, the government's money, या फिर this is a new place where we need to put in more money, या फिर कोई और जगह है जहां से हमको money इन्वेस्टमेंट कम करना पड़ेगा, जो गवर्नमेंट इन्वेस्टमेंट है वो कम करना पड़ेगा. सो देयर आर अ लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स दैट आर डिसाइडेड एनुअली एवरी ईयर एंड इट हैपेंस विद एवरीथिंग. इफ आई टॉक टू यू अबाउट द न्यू एजुकेशन पॉलिसी, so the new education policy, of course there are a lot of inputs in the new education policy from a lot of stakeholders who are eminent educators, but apart from that, with the initial part of suggestion of such a bill and the formulation of such a bill and the execution of such a bill, a lot of it is handled by bureaucrats. So ये जो bureaucrats होते हैं, ये वही civil servants होते हैं which we are talking about today. So the civil servants, these can be IAS officers, these can be IPS officers, these can be any officers. If like say sir also mentioned earlier that if you think of your district, if let's consider you are from Nagpur district, या फिर if we consider that we have students from outside Nagpur as well today, so the district we are sitting in right now, or all the districts that are around us, so if you try and Google out and if you check it out, so you'll understand that there are a lot of in all the districts, you'll find the head of the districts will be either a district magistrate or a district collector. And if you try and understand more about the person, then that person has to be an IAS officer. So same goes with all the departments that we have. There are a lot of government departments. There is a coal department that we have. There is electricity department. There are a lot of departments that the government has to function through. And these departments, which you see in your daily life on your day-to-day basis. So all these departments are basically headed. If you try and check out on their websites, if you try and check it out anywhere, so you'll find out that all these departments are headed by civil servants. So primarily what we are trying to understand is that civil servant एक ऐसा व्यक्ति होता है, एक ऐसा व्यक्तित्व होता है जो basically is responsible to handle the district, is responsible to handle different departments. आपके जितने भी आप जो भी चीज से गवर्नमेंट से रिलेटेड जो भी चीज से आप इंटरफेस, आपका इंटरफेस होता है, कभी भी आप कभी भी इंटरेक्ट करते हैं, आप आरटीओ जा रहे हैं या फिर आप कहीं भी जा रहे हैं, जो भी आप डेली बेसिस पे स्टूडेंट्स भी जहां जहां पे जाते हैं, जहां पे भी इंटरेक्ट करते हैं, सो यू विल फाइंड दैट दैट डिपार्टमेंट मोर और लेस द हेड, the main committee of that department, the management of that department, the head of that department is primarily somewhere or the other, these are bureaucrats, civil servants who are taking care of the entire structure, जो पूरा का पूरा स्ट्रक्चर हैंडल कर रहे हैं, जो उसमें नए इन्वेंशंस लेके आ रहे हैं, जो उसमें चेंजेस लेके आ रहे हैं. Okay, if I talk to you about the Parliament of India, or if I talk to you about the State Assembly, so पार्लियामेंट या स्टेट असेंबली में आप देखेंगे हर साल बहुत सारे बिल्स आते हैं, बहुत सारे न्यू बिल्स आते हैं, कुछ डिक्लाइन हो जाते हैं, कुछ बिल्स गो थ्रू, सम बिल्स आर इम्प्लीमेंटेड, उससे आपके लॉस चेंज होते हैं, आपकी बहुत सारे डेली रूटीन की चीजें चेंज हो जाती है. सो ऑल दीज थिंग्स, ऑल दीज बिल्स दैट आर कमिंग अप, दीज आर अगेन somewhere or the other you'll find that behind these ministers there are a lot of bureaucrats, बहुत सारे civil servants हैं जो ये brainstorming करके आगे कैरी फॉरवर्ड कर रहे हैं, and then these are presented and these are actually implemented through the government, of course, of the state and the center. So primarily this entire structure, this entire machinery is handled more by civil servants than the people we see on regular basis, as in if I talk to you about ministers or anybody who's at the face of it. So there is a very big team that is behind the scenes as well. Like if you see a movie, so the lead characters and the actors are different, and there are people who are actually they're doing a lot of work behind the scenes, who are taking care of the entire movie. So similarly, this particular aspect, this particular reason is what I believe. Like if you people are thinking of doing something different in your society, अगर आप रोज कॉलेज आते हैं, आप रोज कॉलेज से जाते हैं, आप जो भी अपने डे टू डे एक्टिविटी में, डे टू डे लाइफ में आप जो भी चीजें करते हैं, इफ यू पीपल आर थिंकिंग दैट कुछ तो गलत है, there's something wrong in my structure, there's something wrong with the law and order that I'm seeing, there's something wrong with the taxation system, there's something wrong with all the things that I'm seeing. If at all you feel like okay, I already have a doubt, but I'll come to the doubt later on. I got a doubt from Sakshi Rathod. We'll definitely come to the doubts at the end of the webinar, Sakshi. So if we see, like if you want to be part of this change, अगर आपको कुछ ऐसा फील होता है that you want to be part of the change of the structure, आपको कुछ ना कुछ evolve करना है, you want to at least get some knack of the existing machinery, you want to learn about the existing machinery, you wish to learn about the existing structure, and you wish to make some changes as per your thought process, as per your brain, as per your thinking. So UPSC Civil Services is the best roadmap ahead. That is what I personally believe. That is what I personally think, and that is what I personally suggest to all the people, all the aspirants that I interact with. So this was the answer to the question that I
Hello, sir.
Hello. Yeah. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah. Fine. So, so basically, the civil service structure that we are seeing today. So, I personally believe that students need to get into such an examination to be a part of the change, in their country, in their state, in their city, in their district, and whatever they feel is wrong, they obviously should take a step ahead, and the best step ahead, in my opinion, is of course civil services. So this is the reason, this is the biggest reason, in my opinion, that people should think of civil service as a career, or civil service examinations, or any other government examinations that is related to getting into which takes you inside the government, which takes you inside the structure. So that is how you handle the structure, and that is how you initiate the change in the structure, what we had been discussing till now. So now talking about the second question, if I talk to you about the second part, the second question, which is extremely important, as to what exactly is civil services, what exactly is the structure, what is the syllabus, what is the pattern. So I would like to take you through a PPT wherein we'll understand what exactly is the structure. So I hope everybody is able to see the PPT.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yeah. So, as I had mentioned earlier, civil service examination conducted by UPSC. Civil service is conducted into 3 stages. तो जैसा आप लोग अपनी स्क्रीन पे देख सकते हैं, 3 stages. The first stage is the preliminary stage. The second stage is the main stage. That is the most critical part of civil service examination. And the third stage is the personality test or the interview. So the first stage, which we have over here, is an objective MCQ type of an examination. And we'll elaborate this in further slides. The second part is a written and subjective kind of an examination. And the third part is the interview stage. So the first part here, that is the preliminary stage, it tentatively takes around, as in it takes place in the month of June every year. Like this year, it is expected to take place on 27th of June. So preliminary stage happens in one day itself. It's a one-day, single-day examination wherein you get 2 papers. We'll elaborate that further. And the next level, that is the main stage. Once you are through with the preliminary stage, तो आप आते हो अपने main stage पे, civil service के main stage पे. So इस main stage पे, this is 100% subjective. So यहाँ पे आपको 9 papers होते हैं जो आपको 5 days के span में they take 9 papers of yours, the 9 examinations that you are supposed to give. and ये 9 papers के बाद you are given the score, and based on that you either make it to the interview or you don't make it to the interview. So the final stage, that is the interview stage, happens in the month around say February every year. So once we have the preliminary examination, जो आपका जून में होता है tentatively every year, it varies with the notification every year. तो next stage होता है वो आपका tentatively September October में होता है, and जो आपका final stage होता है, that is the interview stage, it takes place around in the month of February. So I'd like to elaborate, put some light on the syllabus of preliminary stage. So in the preliminary stage, there are 2 papers. So if you see on your screen, the first paper, जो हमारा first paper होता है preliminary stage का, that is of 200 marks. So यहाँ पे जो है आपको total 100 questions पूछते हैं, and they'll ask you based on different subjects. आपको बहुत सारे subjects यहाँ पे UPSC ने syllabus में inculcate किया है. So the core subjects that we have in the GS, this is the GS paper, General Studies paper 1. So General Studies paper 1 के core subjects जो होते हैं, they are history, geography, environment, ecology, biodiversity, current affairs, and Indian polity, apart from Indian economy as well. So यहाँ पे आप जितने भी segments आप नीचे देखेंगे अपनी screen पे, so all these segments are the core areas. ये सबसे main and सबसे important areas है for the preliminary stage 1, that is the General Studies paper 1. So यहाँ पे if you can see the header, so header mentions 2 hours and counted for merit rank. Merit rank in the sense कि आपके 2 papers होते हैं preliminary stage पे, जो आपका second paper होता है, which we'll come on to after this slide. जो आपका second paper होता है वो आपका सिर्फ qualifying nature का होता है. तो आपके second paper में अगर आप qualify कर जाते हो beyond the cutoff mark, एक fixed cutoff UPSC set करता है, that is 33%. जो आपके second paper में आपको 33% क्रॉस करना होता है, और 33% के बाद once you cross that level, तो आपका ये वाला पेपर कंसिडर किया जाता है. अब ये जो पेपर है, this is the merit paper. So merit paper primarily means that out of 200 marks, आपका हर साल you'll see different cutoffs. We'll come to the cutoff slide as well. So you'll see different cutoff. Out of 200 marks, let's consider hypothetically that this year you'll get a cutoff of 100 out of 200. So beyond 100 जितने भी होते हैं, they'll be making it to the main level. That is the next level of the examination. So यहाँ पे the core areas that you can see, as I had summarized the core areas, current affairs is a very important aspect in this paper. Current affairs जो होता है वो international भी और national भी. History is another very big subject. Geography is another very big subject. Polity is a very big subject. Economy is a very important subject. And general issues on environment, that is environment, ecology, and biodiversity, is very important aspect of the paper. And general science, if you can see at the end, it is not a very big part of the syllabus of paper 1 of prelims, but then general science is also part of the entire structure. Now the only difference here with UPSC with respect to asking questions is that आपके स्क्रीन पे जितने भी आपको सेक्शंस दिख रहे हैं, जितने भी सब्जेक्ट्स दिख रहे हैं, so UPSC doesn't put a mandation anywhere that they'll be asking one fixed number of questions from one area. So for example, by this I mean कि अगर आपको हिस्ट्री, इस साल आपको हिस्ट्री के 20 क्वेश्चंस आ रहे हैं, और नेक्स्ट ईयर आपको अगर हिस्ट्री के 10 क्वेश्चंस आ रहे हैं, और नेक्स्ट टू नेक्स्ट ईयर देयर इज अ पॉसिबिलिटी आपको 2 क्वेश्चंस भी आ सकते हैं हिस्ट्री के. सो देयर इज नो सर्टेनिटी एज सच. द ओनली सर्टेनिटी इज दैट यू वोंट बी फाइंडिंग क्वेश्चंस बियॉन्ड दिस पर्टिकुलर segment, beyond these particular areas which you are seeing on your screen. इसके beyond आपको questions नहीं आएंगे, but then you'll get questions based on UPSC's selection of importance, as in अगर इस साल UPSC finds history more important, then you will get more questions of history. If UPSC finds current affairs more important, then you might get more questions of current affairs. So that is one unpredictable thing that you'll be getting with UPSC. In all the stages. If I talk to you about prelims, we talk about mains, you talk about the interview stage as well. In all the stages, there is no predictability as such, but the only good thing that UPSC has done for students is that they have given an outline that beyond these subjects, you won't be getting questions. Now coming to the next slide, like I just mentioned, this is the paper 2. This is also called as General Studies paper 2, or it is also called as CSAT, Civil Service Aptitude Test. So basically, Civil Service Aptitude Test is testing the level, is testing the primary aptitude of students. Aptitude in the sense कि यहाँ पे आपको questions आएंगे reading comprehension से, यहाँ पे आपको questions आएंगे logical reasoning से, यहाँ पे आपको questions आएंगे logical analysis से. Here you will find questions from decision making as well. Here you will find grammar as well. Here you will find quants as well. Quantitative aptitude भी यहाँ पे आता है. So primarily, if you see all the sections over here, so in paper 2, all these areas that you can see on your screen, these are very generalized areas. Generalized in the sense, अगर आप कोई banking exam देते हैं, या फिर आप staff selection exam देते हैं, या फिर आप कोई भी competitive examination देते हैं, तो there is a very high possibility कि आपको aptitude का एक paper आएगा. Even आप MBA entrance भी देते हैं, so you'll get an aptitude paper, and in that aptitude paper you'll be finding all these areas. These are very common and basic areas in aptitude. So here the level, as you can see, is primarily not more than 10th standard or 11th standard when we talk about quants, and when we talk about reading comprehension, and when we talk about the other areas. So all these areas are not beyond the level of 11th standard and up to the capacity of 12th standard, not beyond that. And here the only difference from paper 1 is that here the qualifying cutoff is 33%. So as you can see on your screen, 200 marks is the total grand total of this particular paper. Here if you are scoring 67 plus, that is 33%. अगर आपका 67 या 67 से ऊपर आता है, so you are through with this part. आप qualify हो गए यहाँ से, and then you come back to the to this paper 1. So यहाँ पे UPSC what it does is that आपका paper 2 qualify होने के बाद they'll pick up your paper 1, and paper 1 फिर आपका यहाँ पे जो है आपका merit decide होगा if you are eligible for the main level or not. So basically these are the two papers of preliminary stage. ये single day examination होता है, 2 hours का examination होता है, आपको बीच में gap मिलता है between both the papers, and ये examination this year it is expected to take place on 27th of June. Now next, if I show you the cutoffs, so cutoffs is basically category wise, of course, and category wise here we have the data up till 2018. So up till 2018 you can see on your screen that if I talk to you about general category, here the cutoff for this particular level, as in the GS paper 1, this is the cutoff for GS paper 1. Paper 2 आपके इस total में नहीं आता है. Total, अगर आप, if you remember in the last 2 slides, total grand total of the 2 papers was 400. But then 200, you just went through, you qualified, and then you went to paper 1. And here is the cutoff wherein the decision will actually take place if you are qualifying for main level or not. So here, these are the different cutoffs. If you can see, these are the years from 2015 to 2018. So if we talk about 2018 only, so open category cutoff was 98. Then OBC cutoff was 95.66. 96.66, I'm sorry. SC cutoff was 84, and then there was the last cutoff. So all these categories, the different cutoffs that we have, so these cutoffs will take you to the next level, that is the main stage of civil service examination. So now if you go to the next slide, now this is the most important, the most critical, and the most hardworking part, I would say, of civil service examination. Hardworking in the sense that if you see all the papers on your screen, so all these papers are subjective as in they are written in nature. So they are completely, like we saw the last stage was completely MCQ based. This stage is completely written in nature. So written in the sense that you will have to write down all these papers, and you will be getting marks based on your writing skills. So your writing skills are extremely important at this stage of the examination. So here if you see the pattern, if you see the top tabs, आपके ऊपर के जो 2 tabs आपको दिख रहे हैं, these are the qualifying papers. तो जैसे हमारे पास preliminary stage पे CSAT था, paper 2, the qualifying paper. Here if you see on your screen, so these are the 2 qualifying papers, wherein English is a mandatory paper. English आपको compulsory है, जो आपको लेना ही लेना है. And the second paper will be, you can select any language from the 8th schedule of the Constitution of India. So जो 8th schedule है Constitution का, इस 8th schedule के accordingly you get around 18 languages जहाँ से आप select कर सकते हैं to select this particular paper. And वो particular, it can be Hindi, it can be Sanskrit, it can be Marathi, it can be any paper. And यहाँ पे जो है, if you can see on your right side, यहाँ पे 300 marks each होते हैं ये examinations. So paper, English paper 300 marks, you need to get through the cutoff. यहाँ पे आपको 300 में से आपको cutoff clear करना पड़ता है, and out of the other 300 separately you need to clear the cutoff over here. So out of these 2 papers, ये जो 2 papers आपके check होते हैं, UPSC what it does is कि ये 2 papers आपके पहले check किए जाते हैं by UPSC, and after that they'll check your मेन पेपर्स। तो नीचे जो आपकी लिस्ट आपको दिख रही है, दी 7 पेपर्स आ रही है, और मेन पेपर्स, दीज आर द मेन मोस्ट क्रिटिकल पेपर्स, एंड ये पेपर्स से आपका मेरिट डिसाइड होता है। तो बेसिकली इफ वी सी द कट ऑफ हियर, वंस यू आर थ्रू विद द क्वालिफाइंग लेवल, आपके जब मेन पेपर्स चेक होंगे तो मेन पेपर्स, here the paper 1, the first paper as you can see on your screen is essay. So यहाँ पे essay आपको 250 marks का होता है, and 250 marks in the sense कि either they can ask you 2 essays wherein 125 each, you'll have to write down the 2 essays and you'll be given marks based on your writing skills in essay, and same goes for all the general studies paper that we have. तो जनरल स्टडीज जैसा आप अपनी स्क्रीन पे देख सकते हैं, we had a general studies paper if you remember at the preliminary stage, जो पेपर 1 था जिसमें हिस्ट्री, ज्योग्राफी, पॉलिटी, इकोनॉमी, एनवायरनमेंट, इकोलॉजी, ये सारे एरियाज थे, वो वाला एरिया को, वो वाले पेपर को मेन लेवल पे इलैबोरेट किया जाता है। that particular stage is further elaborated and expanded at the main level. So if you see the main level, here are 4 papers of general studies. So GS paper 1 mein, as you can see, there was you had at your preliminary stage history and geography. So that history and geography is further elaborated in paper 1 over here. So here you will find Indian heritage and culture as well, and you will find world history as well. So world history is not part of the preliminary stage. And if you go beyond, in paper 2 it is a more of an elaboration of Indian polity. जो Indian polity हमारा subject था in preliminary stage, उसी का आपको elaboration यहाँ पे दिखेगा with governance, constitution, polity, social justice. And there is another aspect over here which is called international relations. So international relations is another very important subject जो current affairs से linked up होता है more or less. And next if you see paper 3, that is technology, economy, biodiversity, and all the remaining areas are covered in paper 3. जो भी आपका areas रह गए थे from general studies paper 1 at preliminary stage, those areas are covered up in GS paper 3. So these are the remaining areas including disaster management, which is another very important aspect. And apart from that, what UPSC has done some years back when the pattern was changed, so with the new pattern UPSC ने एक और introduction किया है, that is the paper 4 of general studies, that is called ethics, integrity and aptitude. So ethics, integrity and aptitude, ये paper जो है इसमें primarily as the name suggests, the commission, the UPSC commission will be testing your ethical part, it will be testing your integrity, it will be testing your aptitude based on the situations. आपको बहुत सारे case studies यहाँ पे मिल सकते हैं wherein they might ask you that if there is a flood in your area and you are the district magistrate, then how you might deal with it and everything. So you'll have to elaborate on all those aspects. So this is the primary the way of asking questions, and this is what UPSC is trying to check with paper 4, that is ethics, integrity, aptitude. Next, if you can see, 2 और papers होते हैं apart from these areas, apart from general studies, आपके 2 और papers होते हैं, which actually is one single subject. In single subject in the sense कि अगर आप अभी graduation में, if you would have taken some elective, आपने कुछ ना कुछ अपना maybe BCom honors कोई एक subject में लिया होगा, या फिर BSc में you might have selected one major subject in the sense जिसमें आपका specialization होता है, जो post graduation में होता है, जो PhD में होता है. So basically UPSC wants you to take a specialization as well over here. And ये specialization का नाम है, the title is optional subject. So optional subject में ये होता है primarily कि you will have to select one optional out of the list of available optionals. We'll come to the list as well. So out of the list of available optionals, आपको एक optional subject select करना पड़ता है. Let's take a vague example of history as an optional subject. अगर आप लोगों ने हिस्ट्री अपना सब्जेक्ट लिया तो आपका हिस्ट्री जो है वो 2 पेपर्स में डिवाइड होता है, पेपर 1 ऑफ ऑप्शनल सब्जेक्ट एंड पेपर 2 ऑफ ऑप्शनल सब्जेक्ट. तो हिस्ट्री आपका पेपर 1 होगा एंड हिस्ट्री पेपर 2 होगा. तो आपका लेट्स कंसीडर दैट इफ आई टॉक अबाउट हिस्ट्री, सो द टेंटेटिव syllabus that we see in all the optional subjects is to the level of post graduation in the sense अगर आप ज्योग्राफी में पोस्ट ग्रेजुएशन कर रहे हैं या फिर आप साइंस में पोस्ट ग्रेजुएशन कर रहे हैं और यू आर डूइंग पोस्ट ग्रेजुएशन some other specialized field, so the syllabus to the level of post graduation is similar to the syllabus of the level of this optional subject. तो ऑप्शनल में यहाँ पे आपको एक ही सब्जेक्ट होता है जो 2 पेपर्स में डिवाइड होता है, एंड दीज आर द 7 मेरिट बेस्ड पेपर्स दैट वी हैव इन सिविल सर्विसेज. सो ये जो 7 मेरिट बेस्ड पेपर्स आप देख रहे हैं, दीज आर ऑल 250 मार्क्स ईच. So आपके ये जो 250 on the right side of your screen, you can see the marking system. So ये जो 250 marks होते हैं, based on these 250 marks in each paper, you will be getting the scores. तो इसमें से आपको डिफरेंट स्कोर्स मिलेंगे इन डिफरेंट पेपर्स। आपका ग्रैंड टोटल होता है ऑल दीज मेरिट पेपर्स 1750। सो 1750 जो इनका ग्रैंड टोटल होता है, आउट ऑफ दैट you will be getting the total score of all your papers excluding the qualifying papers. Qualifying papers में एक बार आप qualify हो गए तो वो papers आपके merit में नहीं आएंगे, they are not ranking papers. merit papers होते हैं सिर्फ आपके ये 7 papers which are the most crucial papers. So ये जो basically qualifying papers में UPSC आपका basic language check कर रहा है. UPSC is trying to test your level of English. UPSC is trying to test your level of other language जो भी आप लेते हैं, Hindi, Marathi, whichever you choose from the list of languages. And after that, once you are through with the basic test of languages, UPSC आपका merit based papers check करता है, and these merit based papers will decide if you can go to the interview stage or not. So these are the all the papers that we have in the main level. And out of after once you qualify, like tentatively you get a cutoff around say 750, you get a cutoff of 800 out of 1750 जो grand total होता है इन सारे papers का. So out of that, if for example you are getting a cutoff of 800, so beyond 800 people, I'm talking about any one category, beyond 800 all the students will get qualified for the interview level, and interview level में उनका एक separate marking system होगा wherein the grand total is 275 for interview, and आपका जो 1750 जो main level का होता है and 275 इन दोनों का total होता है 2025. इस 2025 के basis पे आपका टोटल स्कोर डिसाइड होगा. इफ फॉर एग्जांपल यू आर स्कोरिंग 1000 एंड 1000 के बेसिस पे आपका जो भी रैंक आ रहा है, यू माइट गेट 100 रैंक, यू माइट गेट 500th रैंक, यू माइट गेट 1000th रैंक. तो जो भी आपका रैंक आ रहा है बेस्ड ऑन दैट आपको अकॉर्डिंगली आपको वो पोर्टफोलियो मिलेगा. इट कैन बी IAS, इट कैन बी IPS, इट कैन बी एनी पोर्टफोलियो, दैट विल डिपेंड ऑन द रैंक जो आप स्कोर करते हो, इसके बेसिस पे आपको मिलेगा. सो कमिंग टू द नेक्स्ट स्लाइड, हियर यू विल सी द लिस्ट ऑफ ऑप्शनल सब्जेक्ट्स that I was talking about, जो elective जो optional आपको लेना पड़ता है. So these are all the optional subjects that we have, that UPSC has given an option for students to select out of all these optional subjects. So as you can see on your left, there are a lot of optional subjects including mathematics as well, there is engineering subjects as well, there are commerce subjects as well, there are a lot of subjects wherein you can select any one optional, and ये particular subject के आपके दो papers होते हैं. That particular subject will be divided into two papers, paper 1 of optional and paper 2 of optional, like we saw in the last slide. Apart from these subjects, there is another option that UPSC provides the students, the aspirants of civil services, and that option is कि आप optional subject, in spite of taking any of these subjects, आप एक literature subject भी ले सकते हैं. So literature in the sense कि out of all the languages that you can see on your right side, out of all the literature options that you can see, आप कोई भी एक literature subject भी ले सकते हैं as your optional subject. तो वही आपका optional subject रहेगा, that will be divided again into 2 papers, and you will be tested based on that literature particular subject, your level of the optional altogether and the mains of course. So if you see in the next slide, now beyond the main level, once you qualify, like I had mentioned, we'll see the cutoffs also later on. So once you qualify in the main level, तो आपका last stage जो आता है, that is the interview stage. So यहाँ पे what UPSC does is that UPSC will conduct an interview. There's a panel of 5 people, and these 5 people will conduct a face-to-face interview in Delhi itself, and based on this interview they'll give you marking out of 275 marks. So interview का जो panel होता है उनके हाथ में 275 grand total marks होते हैं, and based out of that 275 that interview, however your interview goes. So I'll give a small example that like there was one one individual who qualified very recently, and this person was actually was from some background which the panel did not consider the background, the panel did not consider the history of the individual, but the panel asked questions based on the form. So there is a form actually, it's called DAF, detailed application form, जो आपको main examination के पहले भरना पड़ता है. So based on that detailed application form, the panel had asked questions based on the hobbies of the individual. Panel had asked on questions based on the interests of the individual. So it depends on the individual, it depends on the panel कि उनको उस particular candidate से किस type के questions पूछने हैं. That can be based on your background as well. That can be based on your city as well. That can be based upon your interest, your hobbies as well. So based on all these aspects, जो आपका DAF detailed application form जो panel के पास होता है, so based on that, the panel will ask you questions. So basically, post this interview, when you get a score, let's consider you got a score of 100 marks out of 275. So this 100 will be added to the score that you get out of 1750, जो आपके main level का main exam का score था. So out of that particular score, that particular if you are getting 800 in the main level, उसमें आपका ये 100 ऐड हो जाएगा जो आपने इंटरव्यू में स्कोर किया है. एंड बेस्ड ऑन दैट आपका जो ग्रैंड टोटल 900 बनता है out of 2025, the addition of main level and the interview level, out of 2025 जो आपका 900 score बनता है. So this 900 score will decide if you are selected. If at all you are selected, then which level are you selected to? If you are an IAS, if you are an IPS, if you can get an IRS, if you can get an IFS. So total there are multiple domains, there are multiple aspects that I'll just show you. So these are the interview details where the interview takes place and how the session happens. So here you will see that these are the list of services out of which student ko based on their score, they'll get to see, they'll get to, as in they'll get into that particular service. So if you can see on your left side, these two are all India services. And in the center tab, you can see the group A services. And in the right side, on the right of your screen, you can see group B services. So all these are civil services only, जो आपको same examination के through ही मिलता है. All these portfolios, all these services you get based on the same examination only. But the only difference will be that when you actually get the score of your main level and जब आपका interview का score आता है, जो उसका grand total होता है, जो आपको rank मिलता है based upon that, whatever rank you get, so that particular rank will decide where exactly you land out of all these options that you can see on your screen. So अगर आपका rank बहुत अच्छा है, अगर आप let's consider top 140, top 150 में आते हैं, and उस particular year में IAS के उतनी post available है, जो आपको starting में ही पता चल जाता है कितनी post कौन से इसमें available है. IPS में शायद 100 post available होगी, IAS में शायद 120 post उस साल में available होगी. वो हर साल vary होती है, हर साल change होता है. So IAS, if I talk to you about IAS, तो IAS अगर let's consider that in this particular year IAS के 120 post available है. So अगर आप 120 rank के अंदर आते हैं, if you are part of the 120 ranks, then IAS, you get IAS. And if you get beyond that, the next choice is IPS. You go beyond that is foreign service. Now another aspect over here is कि यहाँ पे आपको अपना सर्विस भी सिलेक्ट करना पड़ता है. तो जब आप अपना डिटेल्ड एप्लीकेशन फॉर्म DAF भरते हो, so at that point of time you will have to select your first choice, which could be IAS, your second choice, which could be IRS. Some people are fascinated with IRS to become revenue service officers. Some people are fascinated with IPS, तो वो अपना first choice शायद IPS डालेंगे. Some people are fascinated with railway service, so they might put railway service as their first choice. So based on your choice, based on your rank, and based on the availability of your cadre, as in आप अपने state का भी choice डालते हो, that I need to get posted in Maharashtra or I want to get posted in Telangana. Based on all these 3-4 aspects, आपको finally आपका service मिलता है, आपका state मिलता है, आपको आपका exact portfolio मिलता है. So this is the mechanism of UPSC, and like I had mentioned, if you see the cutoffs, these are the final cutoffs, including the main score and including the interview score. So if you see the cutoffs on your screen, so these cutoffs are up till again 2018, and these cutoffs are category wise. So these are the final cutoffs. If I talk to you about 2014, so 2014, you'll see 889 is the cutoff for general category. So people beyond 889 from general category will get into the services, Now based on their score, if it is 890 or if it is 1000, based on that, they'll get the exact service. So this varies with all the categories, of course. 889, then you can see 844 for OBC category, 830 for SC category, and 811 ST category, the final cutoff, including the main score and the interview score. So this is the entire structure, and based on this, based on the entire structure, once you get placed, once you get into any of the services, if for example, you fortunately get into IAS or you get into IPS, so you have different training centers across the country, wherein, like if I'll mention for IAS, the training academy is in Mussoorie, wherein the students, all the selected aspirants are taken to Mussoorie, and over there they are trained for a period of time. So the training period varies with all the services. IPS has a different training period. IRS, if I talk about IRS, so I like to mention about IRS because the IRS income tax training part. IRS is of two types. One is customs officer and the other is income tax officer. So the income tax training officer is usually trained in Nagpur itself, in our city itself. So you would have noticed there is an academy called NADT on Nelson Square on Koradi Road. So NADT is a National Academy of Direct Taxes, wherein IRS officers की 16 months की यहाँ पे training होती है. Whoever is selected from anywhere in the country, they have to come to Nagpur and they get trained here in NADT. And same is the case with all the services. You have for police, you have a different city. For IAS, like I mentioned, it's a different city. For all the services, there are different places wherein people, once they get selected, they get into that particular service and they get into that particular training academy. And beyond that, wherever the cadre, whichever cadre is allocated, whichever state is allocated with that service, that state, that particular aspirant or that particular officer will have to serve in that particular region, in that particular state. So this was all about the syllabus, the structure of civil service examination. And I had like through these slides, we tried mentioning most of the common doubts and most of the common aspects that students are confused about. And there is a very big myth altogether that it is one extraordinary examination wherein nobody, as in very few, can crack it or something like that. But then I would like to clarify on that aspect as well, that I have come across a lot of officers who have come from various backgrounds. There are backgrounds from arts, there are backgrounds from commerce, we have officers from CA backgrounds as well, we have officers from BA, they have done Bachelor of Arts as well, there are officers from MBBS as well, there are officers from distinct backgrounds, there are officers from all the colleges, from all the variety of colleges that we see inside the country, of colleges of even if I talk about IITs, even if I talk about any NITs, there are colleges, there are multiple colleges wherein the competition is coming from everywhere. The aspirants are coming from everywhere. But the only difference, which in my opinion, which I saw in a person who is cracking this exam and a person who is not cracking this exam, is that level of preparation in that particular 1 year or 2 years of civil service cycle. Because the very good thing, the only good thing that I found about the entire setting of syllabus and the entire setting of the structure is that there is no discrimination as such. So nobody will get an upper hand. No, an engineering background student doesn't get an upper hand because the background, the syllabus of engineering has got nothing to do, not much to do with UPSC. The syllabus, if I talk about commerce, has not got very much to do about UPSC. The syllabus of medical fields has got nothing to do with UPSC. Same happens with everything. To an extent, you might find matching subjects with BA arts, but then again, there is a very big aspect wherein the students need to get the proper grip, the proper hold of this particular structure, of this particular examination in that cycle of preparation. अगर आप 1 साल के लिए prepare कर रहे हो, आप 2 साल के लिए prepare कर रहे हो, आप 3 साल के लिए prepare कर रहे हो, so if you are able to get that hold, that proper hold of the way of asking questions of UPSC, the way of answer writing that officers have written earlier, and the way of preparing the entire syllabus, then I believe no matter which background you're coming from, no matter which college you're coming from, no matter which university you're coming from, no matter which state you're coming from, no matter which city you're coming from, you are at an equal level when you come to this particular examination. आप उसी level पे, आप उसी line पे, उसी starting line पे खड़े हो, and यहाँ से when you start running, so the other person is also running in the same way which you are running. The only difference is how better prepared you are to get to the finish line, how faster you can become to get to the finish line, and how better, well equipped you can be to actually read the right syllabus, to prepare the right syllabus, and then achieve the right set of answers, to achieve the right set of the entire structure of civil service course. So this is all about civil service and UPSC. And I would really appreciate, we already started getting doubts. I would really appreciate queries from any kind, like from anything that you wish to ask related to civil services, related to all these examinations. So I'll be extremely happy to answer all those queries.
Thank you very much, sir. Student, if you have any queries or questions regarding the civil service examination, especially UPSC, you can post your queries in chat box. No, sir, there is one question from Sakshi Rathod.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I
He is
am
a
not able to see
student
the
of
question.
Yes, yes.
Yes, sir. Sir, I'm not getting the chat box here.
Okay, I will read the question, sir. Sakshi Rathod, she is the student of BSc with subject chemistry, biotechnology, and biochemistry.
Okay.
She is preparing for this UPSC examination. He wants some suggestion from you regarding the optional subject because she is planning to take the zoology as a subject, optional subject.
Okay. So optional. I think there's some disturbance here. I hope I'm audible clearly.
Yes.
Yeah. So optional, it's a very good question in the beginning only that we got. So optional is basically, there is a way of selecting your optional subject. So I'll start with the point that how to select your optional, and then you can come down, like I'm not able to see your query exactly. So I did not get that if you want to select the optional or what do you wish to do exactly. So I'll start with the how to select the optional, then I'll come to the subject. So basically, this is for all the people, as in not just the person who's asking the doubt. This is a very important question, how to select your optional subject. So there are 2-3 mechanisms wherein aspirants across the country, which they select to actually finalize their particular optional. So what happens is that one mechanism of selecting optional is that if you have a background, if you have a BSc background or you have a BA background or whichever background you have, so if there is a subject wherein you are very much comfortable, wherein you are very much comfortable with answer writing, with your writing skills are extremely good in that particular subject, and then you are actually able to present the right views in that particular area, and you have one stronghold in your graduation. Out of all the subjects that you have, if you have a strong subject, then you can go for that option. That is number one. Number two is that there can be an area of interest wherein, if फॉर एग्जाम्पल अगर आप बीएससी से हो और आपको इंटरेस्ट शायद से हो सकता है इकोनॉमी में ज्यादा हो, इवन दो आप बीएससी से हो एंड इकोनॉमी एंड बीएससी का कोई लिंकअप नहीं है, बट देन स्टिल देयर इज अ वेरी हाई पॉसिबिलिटी दैट यू माइट बी फीलिंग वेरी अट्रैक्टेड टू दैट पर्टिकुलर सब्जेक्ट, से फॉर एग्जाम्पल इकोनॉमी. सो अगर आपको वो सब्जेक्ट में उतना कॉन्फिडेंस है, अगर आपका वो सब्जेक्ट में उतना लेवल है, उस लेवल का इंटरेस्ट है, सो देन आई बिलीव यू शुड सिलेक्ट दैट ऑप्शनल, दैट इज प्लान बी. The third mechanism, the third way of selecting your optional is, which most of the students, most of the aspirants resort to. So the third and the most common way of selecting your optional is when you match that subject with your general studies. तो जनरल स्टडीज जैसे आपने सिलेबस में देखा, मेन सिलेबस में भी एंड प्रीलिम सिलेबस में भी, जनरल स्टडीज में बहुत सारे इंपॉर्टेंट सब्जेक्ट्स हैं जो मैंडेटरी है. हिस्ट्री मैंडेटरी है, ज्योग्राफी मैंडेटरी है, इकोनॉमी मैंडेटरी है. देयर आर मल्टीपल सब्जेक्ट्स व्हिच आर मैंडेटरी. सो आउट ऑफ ऑल दीज सब्जेक्ट्स दैट यू सी इन जनरल स्टडीज, इसमें से आप कोई भी एक अपना ऑप्शनल सब्जेक्ट इसमें से भी ले सकते हैं. The advantage of that is कि अगर आपने अपना ऑप्शनल सब्जेक्ट फॉर एग्जांपल हिस्ट्री ले लिया, तो आपका हिस्ट्री जनरल स्टडीज के लिए भी आप प्रिपेयर ऑटोमेटिकली आपका हो जाएगा व्हेन यू आर प्रिपेयरिंग फॉर योर ऑप्शनल सब्जेक्ट. तो आपका वर्कलोड विद द ऑप्शनल एंड विद द जनरल स्टडीज पेपर डिक्रीजेस व्हेन यू सिलेक्ट अ कॉमन ऑप्शनल सब्जेक्ट. So that is one way of selecting your optional subject, which is a very common way, I should say, because I saw a lot of engineers in Delhi as well who select geography as their optional, even though they do not have geography in engineering. And the reason behind that is they want to make a common lab, they want to make a common area, they want to segregate a common area with general studies and the optional subject. So same happens with all the optional subjects. So yahan pe I in my opinion, these are the ways. Now I would suggest that if you need to select an optional subject, then what you should do is that if, like you had mentioned zoology, I guess. So if we talk about zoology, so in zoology, what happens is that you can do one thing, that you can select the post-graduation and graduation notes of any standard university in the country, of any good university, even Nagpur University or IGNOU University or any good university. आप उसके पोस्ट ग्रेजुएशन और ग्रेजुएशन के नोट्स कहीं से भी ले लीजिए, इधर ऑनलाइन यू कैन सिलेक्ट और ऑफलाइन यू कैन टेक एनीवेयर. सो you go through all those notes of all the 5 years, especially the second and third year of graduation and first and second year of post graduation. Go through all the notes, then take the question papers of the past 5 years of UPSC in that particular subject. If you are talking about zoology over here, आप zoology के आपको ऑप्शनल के क्वेश्चन पेपर्स इजीली मिल जाएंगे ऑनलाइन. आप जूलॉजी के ऑप्शनल के क्वेश्चन पेपर्स ले लीजिए एंड देन ट्राई एंड आंसर बेस्ड ऑन योर प्रिपरेशन ऑफ से 1 मंथ. अगर आपने ग्रेजुएशन पोस्ट ग्रेजुएशन के बुक से अगर आपने वो ऑप्शनल के लिए बारे में पढ़ा है, तो ट्राई एंड आंसर द क्वेश्चंस that you see from UPSC. जो भी UPSC ने पिछले 5 साल में जो भी क्वेश्चंस पूछे, अगर आपको if you feel comfortable in answering and writing, and जो आपकी writing skills are matching enough, you feel कि you are able to write comfortably, you are able to cover proper points and everything according to your level of satisfaction at least, so you should go for that particular option. अगर आपको confusion है ऑप्शनल में, तो so that is the best way of selecting an optional. It might take 1 month जहाँ पे आप वो सब्जेक्ट को पढ़ने में लगा सकते हो, but that is not a harm. आप 2 महीने लगा लो. अगर आपको 3 सब्जेक्ट में कंफ्यूजन है, तो आप 3 महीने अलग अलग सब्जेक्ट्स को पढ़ लो, बट इट विल बी हेल्पफुल, बिकॉज आपको कल जाके अगर फॉर एग्जांपल आप अटेम्प्ट करते हो, अपना एग्जामिनेशन अटेम्प्ट करते हो, तो उसके बाद वापस नहीं आना पड़ेगा. एज इन आप, देयर आर अ लॉट ऑफ स्टूडेंट्स हु मेक अ वेरी बिग ब्लंडर ऑफ selecting one optional in the first year of their attempt. In the second year, they'll change their optional. In the third year, they might change again. So that will actually hamper your chances of clearing this exam. So it is better to take time earlier and then prepare, then make sure that you have landed on the best option subject and then select your option subject. So that is, I believe that was your query. In case there's something else, you can ask me further. So
sir, thank you. Mr. Rahul Potode is asking about the writing language, whether English, Marathi or Hindi, how to select the writing language for main examination.
Okay. Sir, I got the chat box now, so
Okay.
Now I can read it. Thank you so much. So which language we should choose for answer writing in mains, as preparing GS subject in English may be tough also. Writing mains in Hindi or Marathi may be time consuming. Or what's your opinion on this? Thank you. Okay. So basically, Rahul, I would like to tell you that the answer writing should be in the language wherein you are most comfortable, number 1. Number 2, अगर for example आप हिंदी select करते हैं, I'm not sure whichever your stronghold is. I believe as per your doubt, English, you might be facing some challenges with English. इतना मुझे समझ में आ रहा है आपके डाउट से. So in this case, what I would suggest you is that कि आप अगर हिंदी के बारे में सोच रहे हैं या फिर मराठी के बारे में सोच रहे हैं, so first try and figure out the study material. क्योंकि कैसा होता है जनरली कि अगर आप इंग्लिश में प्रिपेयर कर रहे हैं यूपीएससी के लिए, तो करंट अफेयर्स आपके पास बहुत सारे सोर्सेज है. आप द हिंदू पढ़ सकते हैं, आप इंडियन एक्सप्रेस पढ़ सकते हैं, आप बहुत सारी मैगजीन्स आपको बहुत इजीली अवेलेबल हो जाएगी. एंड जो स्टडी मटेरियल होता है, इफ आई टॉक अबाउट एनी स्टैंडर्ड स्टडी मटेरियल, आजकल बहुत सारे पब्लिकेशंस मल्टीपल लैंग्वेज में आ रहे हैं, बट देन जो स्टडी मटेरियल होता है, सो दैट स्टडी मटेरियल इज मोस्ट इजीली एक्सेसिबल एंड मोस्ट इजीली अवेलेबल इन इंग्लिश लैंग्वेज. That is one very important point. अगर करंट अफेयर्स की भी हम लोग बात करें, करंट अफेयर्स एक बहुत मेजर एस्पेक्ट है सिविल सर्विस प्रिपरेशन में. एंड करंट अफेयर्स की के पूरा जो सिलेबस, करंट अफेयर्स का जो पूरा जो प्रिपरेशन है, वो सबसे कन्वीनियंटली होता है. आई हैव डेल्ट विद स्टूडेंट्स जो हिंदी मीडियम से है, आई हैव डेल्ट विद स्टूडेंट्स जो अलग अलग मीडियम से है. सो जो करंट अफेयर्स का एस्पेक्ट होता है, दैट इज मोर कन्वीनियंट विद इंग्लिश लैंग्वेज. दैट इज वन एस्पेक्ट. द सेकेंड थिंग इज दैट इफ like you asked that you want to consider Hindi writing and Marathi writing, तो आपको यहाँ पे जो confusion है, this is a very big confusion actually, because Hindi language and Marathi language you cannot consider as close enough. जो हिंदी की writing skills होती है, that is the words, the grammar and everything is different from the Marathi grammar that we have in UPSC and Marathi language that we have in UPSC. So primarily I would say that you will have to figure out, after writing answers based on the existing answers that you will see online. So आपको अगर आप online check करेंगे तो आपको बहुत सारे answers मिलेंगे, आपको बहुत सारे English में answers मिल जाएंगे previous aspirants के जिन्होंने crack किया है ये exam, आपको बहुत सारे हिंदी में answers मिल जाएंगे, आपको बहुत सारे मराठी में answers मिल जाएंगे. So try and read all those answers and उसके बाद फाइनलाइज, उसके बाद ट्राई एंड अंडरस्टैंड विच इज योर मोस्ट कंफर्टेबल पार्ट. अगर आप हिंदी में सबसे कंफर्टेबली लिख सकते हैं, अगर आप मराठी में सबसे कंफर्टेबली लिख सकते हैं, अगर आप इंग्लिश में सबसे कंफर्टेबली लिख सकते हैं, आफ्टर दैट स्टेज आपको स्टडी मटेरियल आइडेंटिफाई करना पड़ेगा कि आपका जो भी लोकेशन है, बेस्ड ऑन दैट आपको कौन सा स्टडी मटेरियल सबसे इजीली मिल रहा है एंड आपको वो स्टडी मटेरियल सबसे कन्वीनियंट हो रहा है या नहीं हो रहा है. अगर आप मराठी की बात हम लोग करें तो मराठी में आपको पॉलिटी भी पढ़ना पड़ेगा, आपको ज्योग्राफी भी पढ़ना पड़ेगा, आपको साइंस भी पढ़ना पड़ेगा. सो यू शुड बी कंफर्टेबल इनफ विद ऑल द टर्मिनोलॉजीज, जितने भी टर्म्स यूज होते हैं, जितने भी वर्ड्स यूज होते हैं इन ऑल दीज सब्जेक्ट्स. हर सब्जेक्ट में एक अलग टाइप की टर्मिनोलॉजी होती है, तो हिंदी एंड मराठी एंड इंग्लिश तीनों में आप टर्मिनोलॉजी देख लीजिए. एंड स्टिल इफ आफ्टर दैट एज वेल, अगर आपको ऐसा लग रहा है कि देयर इज अ पॉसिबिलिटी, वेरी हाई पॉसिबिलिटी कि आप इक्वली हिंदी भी ले सकते हैं, इक्वली मराठी भी एंड इक्वली इंग्लिश भी ले सकते हैं, तो आई वुड सजेस्ट इन दैट केस गो फॉर इंग्लिश. आप इंग्लिश सिलेक्ट करिए. अगर आपको इंग्लिश में बहुत ही ज्यादा कॉम्प्लिकेशन है, देन जो मैंने अभी आपको पॉइंट्स बताया, गो थ्रू दोस पॉइंट्स एंड देन यू विल ट्राई एंड फिगर आउट. आपको एक अंडरस्टैंडिंग आएगी हाउ टू finalize your medium of writing these answers. I hope I've answered this question. You can ask further in case there's anything. The next doubt that I have over here is that do we this is asked by Shamkul. Shamkul, so do we have to give the interview in the same language in which we are going to give the paper? Okay, so primarily here UPSC gives you an option of selecting the interview language. आप interview language select कर सकते हैं, but then like I just mentioned, you will have to be extremely clear. आपको पहले से बहुत ज्यादा क्लियर रहना पड़ेगा, क्योंकि अगर आप इंटरव्यू लैंग्वेज चेंज करते हैं तो आपका पैनल भी चेंज हो जाता है. इंटरव्यू का जो पैनल चेंज हो जाता है एंड देन आपको एक अलग पैनल आता है, मे बी they are specialized more towards Marathi or they are specialized more towards Hindi. तो आपका पैनल चेंज होता है. That is number one aspect. Number two aspect is that when you are actually writing the answers, अगर आप बहुत ज्यादा comfortable है writing में, so I think that is the best language. जो भी language में आप लिख रहे हैं, that is the best language for you to go for the interview. And you should not switch the language. That is, in my opinion, you should you should continue with the same language. So I believe that this was your answer. Going to the next doubt. So I'm preparing for UPSC. This is asked by Sakshi again. So I'm preparing for UPSC since June 2020. Almost done with my GS subject self-studies. Would like to appear for UPSC 2022. Okay, but the review which I get for zoology optional is not that much positive. Okay, so Sakshi, good you asked again about zoology. So basically what happens, like I said, with the subject selection, of course, I believe you have already finalized your subject and everything. And the review that you are talking about, so that is very much subjective. अगर if you have a very good grip in zoology and अगर आप इस साल अगर आप कट ऑफ देखते हैं, I believe you are talking about the cut offs only and you are talking about the जो स्कोर मिल रहा है स्टूडेंट्स को जूलॉजी में. सो अगर आप इस साल का कट ऑफ देखते हैं या आप लास्ट ईयर का कट ऑफ देखते हैं, सो एंड द क्वेश्चंस दैट आर आस्क्ड, तो वो जो क्वेश्चंस होते हैं वो हर साल जो है वेरी करते हैं. एक सिंपल ऑप्शनल कोई अगर इफ पीपल टेल यू कि देयर इज वन ऑप्शन लाइक पब्लिक एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन जो बहुत सिंपल है एंड यू शुड टेक, सो दैट इज नॉट द केस. पब्लिक एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन का ऐसा काफी बार हुआ है इन लॉट ऑफ अटेम्प्ट्स कि बहुत टफ क्वेश्चंस भी आ गए हैं. सेम हैपेंस विद एनी सब्जेक्ट दैट यू टेक. अगर आप जूलॉजी की बात करें, सो इफ यू आर फॉर्चुनेट इनफ, आपके अटेम्प्ट में आपको शायद इजी क्वेश्चंस आएंगे, आपको स्कोर ज्यादा मिलेगा, आपके आंसर राइटिंग पे डिपेंड करेगा, वो सारी चीजें होती है. बट देन based on the review that I believe you are talking about is the marking that UPSC is providing you. So this particular marking जो UPSC provide करता है, this is not restricted, this is not biased. ये unbiased होता है completely. Any subject that you select, and I would suggest अगर zoology आपका strong है, so do not go with the reviews, do not go with whatever people are saying. If you have a very strong subject, then go for that subject itself. And if you're writing good answers, and luckily if you're getting normal questions, not extremely tough or something like that in that particular attempt, so then there is a very high possibility you will score very good in that subject. So you'll have to trust your faith as in your luck as well, and you'll have to go with the subject which you are strong with. Don't go with the subject with you are not much comfortable with, and but then you're getting good reviews or you're getting good feedback or anything about it. So I believe that is your answer. You can ask further. So next question that we have is from Aman. I'm in BSc first year. How will manage my graduation study and UPSC study? Okay, so Aman, I would like to tell you a case of one person. So there was one aspirant, there was one office, she's an officer now, Tina Dabi. You might have heard of Tina Dabi. So she was the All India Rank 1 holder in 2015. So what happened, Tina Dabi, when she was in 12th standard, she took arts in 11th and 12th, and her mother was a bureaucrat. She was an IES officer. So her mother guided her with everything, and she started her preparation at a very early stage. So Tina Dabi, what she did is that after 12th standard, when her graduation started, so she started preparing for civil services from first year itself. तो फर्स्ट ईयर से उनको ये एडवांटेज हुआ कि इररिस्पेक्टिव कि आपका बीएससी है, उनका बीए था दिल्ली में, बट उन्होंने क्या किया कि फर्स्ट ईयर से उन्होंने अपना पूरा स्केड्यूल बना लिया कि फर्स्ट ईयर, सेकेंड ईयर, थर्ड ईयर में उनको ऐसे ऐसे ये चीज प्रिपेयर करनी है. उन्होंने अपना पूरा टाइम टेबल सेट कर लिया एंड उन्होंने वो अलॉन्ग विद द ग्रेजुएशन, शी वाज फ्रॉम लेडी श्रीराम कॉलेज वेयर अगेन अटेंडेंस एंड ऑल इज एन इशू. सो वहां पे उन्होंने क्या किया कि उन्होंने अलॉन्ग विद हर ग्रेजुएशन जो सब्जेक्ट्स वो ग्रेजुएशन से मैच कर सकती है उन्होंने वो कर लिया. बट इररिस्पेक्टिव ऑफ दैट पॉइंट उन्होंने अलॉन्ग विथ हर ग्रेजुएशन उन्होंने अपना 3 साल का साइकिल बनाया अपना. अगर आपका मान लीजिए अगर आपका कॉलेज होता है मान लीजिए 5 आवर्स का, या फिर आपका जो भी पूरा एक्टिविटी दिन भर की होती है 8 आवर्स की, सो यू विल हैव टू फिगर आउट द टाइम. अगर आपको यूपीएससी के लिए प्रिपेयर करना है और आपने डिसाइड कर लिया यूपीएससी, तो टुडे इज द टाइम आपको स्टार्ट कर लेना चाहिए. एंड टुडे इज द टाइम यू शुड स्टार्ट प्रिपेयरिंग इन व्हाटएवर ऑन व्हाटएवर लेवल. आप 1 घंटा दो, आप 2 घंटे उसमें इन्वेस्ट करो, या आप 5 आवर्स उसमें इन्वेस्ट करो, but this is the time you should actually start preparing, and this is a very good time in my opinion कि फर्स्ट ईयर सेकेंड ईयर जो प्रिपेयर करते हैं उनको एक प्रॉपर स्ट्रक्चर समझ में आता है, उनको एक प्रॉपर प्रिपरेशन साइकिल उनको मिलती है, rather than people who start after graduation or after post graduation, because वहां पे उनके वैसे स्टूडेंट्स पे एक प्रेशर होता है and that pressure is of clearing as early as possible or leaving. but आपके केस में वो प्रेशर नहीं रहेगा क्योंकि आप फर्स्ट ईयर में, सेकेंड ईयर में, थर्ड ईयर में along with your graduation आप प्रिपेयर कर रहे हैं. so this is the best time in my opinion, and आपने अभी ही मैनेज करना पड़ेगा आपको. अगर आपको यूपीएससी जैसे एग्जाम क्रैक करना है तो आपको अपना कॉलेज भी मैनेज करना पड़ेगा और आपको अपना यूपीएससी प्रिपरेशन भी मैनेज करना पड़ेगा, नो मैटर हाउ मेनी नंबर ऑफ आवर्स यू फाइंड आउट. सो दिस वाज द क्वेश्चन फ्रॉम Aman, I guess. Yeah. And then the next question, so the next question is how to go on reading The Hindu. Currently I'm reading Indian Express and it takes 45 minutes daily for me to read Indian Express. So should I shift to The Hindu or continue with Indian Express? Okay, so there's a very good doubt. So The Hindu is of course considered as the most important paper of civil services. But lately एक trend ऐसा change हुआ है that a lot of people have switched to Indian Express. In Delhi as well, in most of the cities, if you find a lot of sincere, all the aspirants rather, not just sincere aspirants, all the aspirants have shifted, even they are trying to cover up both the papers, or they have shifted completely to Indian Express. So basically what happens is that जब आप The Hindu अगर आप पढ़ रहे हो, सो द हिंदू पढ़ने के बाद अगर आपने इंडियन एक्सप्रेस पढ़ा, सो व्हाट विल हैपन इज दैट बहुत ही कम स्टोरीज बचेगी जो आपका कवर अप करने के लिए बच जाएगी. फॉर एग्जांपल, इफ आई टॉक टू यू अबाउट द फार्म बिल, तो अगर द हिंदू ने एक XYZ स्टोरी कवर किया आज अबाउट द फार्म बिल एंड यू हैव ऑलरेडी रेड दैट, तो ऑब्वियसली आप वो फिर से नहीं पढ़ोगे इंडियन एक्सप्रेस में. आप वही चीज पढ़ोगे जो आपने यहाँ पे नहीं पढ़ा है. सो देयर इज अ वेरी हाई पॉसिबिलिटी कि आपको वहां पे सिर्फ 10-15% का डिफरेंस दिखेगा फ्रॉम द हिंदू. सो इन दैट एस्पेक्ट आपका, अगर आप दोनों पेपर्स पढ़ रहे हो तो आपका एक एडिशनल हाफ एन आवर 40 मिनट्स लगेगा, बट देन यू विल कवर अप बोथ द पेपर्स एंड देयर इज अ वेरी हाई पॉसिबिलिटी कि आपको कुछ भी मिस नहीं होगा ऑन दैट पर्टिकुलर डे इन करंट अफेयर्स. सो कमिंग बैक टू योर डाउट, that you are currently able to finish Indian Express in 45 minutes, which is a very excellent thing. And I think you should not shift to any paper. And you are reading Indian Express, continue with Indian Express. But टेक अप हिंदू ऑन योर मोबाइल। हिंदू का एक ऐप भी होता है, एप्लीकेशन भी होता है कि आप वो मोबाइल पे ऐप भी डाउनलोड कर सकते हैं। आप डिफरेंस फाइंड आउट कर सकते हैं कि ऐसी कौन सी स्टोरी थी जो आपने इंडियन एक्सप्रेस में नहीं पढ़ा और आपको हिंदू में दिख रही है, तो वो स्टोरी आप पढ़ सकते हैं एंड आपका टेक्निकली दोनों पेपर्स कवर हो जाएंगे इन अ स्पैन ऑफ शॉर्टर देन व्हाट इट नॉर्मली रिक्वायर्स। So I believe I've answered your question. Next is from I'm in BSc final year. I choose PSIR as optional subject. Okay. So after BSc, I think to take admission for PG in political science. Okay. So please guide me. Will it be good for my preparation or not, or consume my time? So I did not exactly understand your doubt here, Pradnya. That you are in final year and you have already taken your optional subject. Okay. So after BSc, I think to take admission for PG in political science. Okay. Okay. So okay. So I believe आपका graduation जो है that has got nothing to do with political science, but then post graduation में you wish to take admission in political science. So political science you should definitely go for political science post graduation. अगर आपको major मिलता है so that is the best thing. तो आप इसमें post graduation ले लीजिए and इसमें try and figure out the common as in जो भी आपका आपके जो टेक्स्ट सिलेबस होगा, जो भी आपके कॉलेज का सिलेबस होगा इन पॉलिटिकल साइंस, यू विल फाइंड अ लॉट ऑफ कॉमन एरियाज विद यूपीएससी पॉलिटिकल साइंस। तो वो कॉमन एरियाज फिगर आउट करिए एंड वो कॉमन एरियाज में आई वुड सजेस्ट कि आप सबसे ज्यादा प्रिपरेशन वो कॉमन एरियाज पे फोकस करिए अपने पोस्ट ग्रेजुएशन में भी एंड अपने यूपीएससी प्रिपरेशन में भी, एंड यू शुड डेफिनेटली गो फॉर इट एज पर दिस वाज अ डाउट आई गेस। सो इट वोंट कंज्यूम योर टाइम एंड अगर आपको अगर मेजर मिल सकता है पॉलिटिकल साइंस so that will be the best thing, and then go for political science in UPSC. Next is I almost I have gone through the standard material of general studies subjects, but I also do get suggestion to substitute it with Pajiram or Ravi or Vision IAS material. Okay, so basically I would to be very honest not like to comment on the study material of any classes anywhere, but then the standard material that you have mentioned, I believe you have all the standard textbooks that are like published related to UPSC, which are picked up by many. So I'll tell you about the classes. I won't take the name of the classes, but then I'll tell you that even a lot of students in all these classes refer standard material only. For an extra reference, or the new students who get into these classes, they primarily go for the class notes, but then all the publications that we have, like I would like to mention that there is a list of books, set of books. It's a PDF file which I have also made. These are all the publications, these are all the standard publications जो market में कहीं भी available होती है. So even that I'll share with sir, and वो भी आपको forward हो जाएगी. Sir will share it with you, and from that source you will understand which are the proper standard publications that are available in the market. And beyond that, अगर आपको कोई भी सब्जेक्ट में ऐसा लग रहा है कि आप शायद समझ नहीं पा रहे हैं, from let's take an example of M. Lakshmikant, it's a book for Indian polity. अगर M. Lakshmikant में आपको कोई भी aspect नहीं समझ में आ रहा है, then you can take up the material of these classes that you are mentioning. But then all the standard books are very much on point, are very much logical, and all the standard books, जस्ट इन केस आपको मेंस में और मटेरियल चाहिए लिखने के लिए, तो आप यहाँ वहां से थोड़ा और चीजें कलेक्ट कर सकते हैं, बट अदरवाइज ऑल दी स्टैंडर्ड मटेरियल्स कवर मोस्ट ऑफ द पार्ट ऑफ द सिलेबस दैट वी हैव इन सिविल सर्विसेज. सो दिस वाज द डाउट. नेक्स्ट इज can we write optional subject in different language other than the subject we choose? For GS answer writing, for example, we choose Marathi for GS. So no, actually Rahul has asked this question. So you'll have to select one medium of the entire examination, and you'll have to go with that medium in the entire examination. So that is your answer. And which type of books we refer for UPSC? Ye question somebody has asked this question, which type of books we refer for UPSC. So जो books है, मैंने जैसे अभी mention किया, I'll share the PDF file which I have created, जिसमें सारे standard publications है, वो आपके पास आ जाएगी, and based on that PDF you'll understand कि कौन से क्या study material usually क्या books publications and कौन से authors की books पढ़ना पड़ता है. So this was the question. Next is from Tehseen. So if choose Hindi in optional language, so there is any particular syllabus like lessons and poems to learn in that, or any general knowledge of subject would be enough? ओके ओके सो बेसिकली तहसीन ये जो ऑप्शनल आपने हिंदी लिया, हिंदी का बोल रहे हैं, तो ऑप्शनल हिंदी लिटरेचर होगा आपका. हिंदी इज नॉट एन ऑप्शनल, हिंदी लिटरेचर एक ऑप्शनल होता है. तो हिंदी लिटरेचर में आपको जो लिटरेचर ग्रेजुएशन और पोस्ट ग्रेजुएशन लेवल का जो लिटरेचर आता है, आपने देखा होगा बहुत सारी जगह ग्रेजुएशन होता है लिटरेचर में, पोस्ट ग्रेजुएशन होता है लिटरेचर में. सो ये लेवल का आपको लिटरेचर आता है, ये लेवल का सिलेबस कवर होता है आपके लिटरेचर में, पोस्ट ग्रेजुएशन लेवल का. सो इट इज एन ऑप्शनल सब्जेक्ट, तो ये बहुत ही ज्यादा इलाबरेट होता है. लाइक आई हैड मेंशन्ड अर्लियर, आप कोई भी सब्जेक्ट लेंगे, आप लिटरेचर लेंगे या कोई नॉर्मल सब्जेक्ट लेंगे, बहुत ही ज्यादा इलाबरेट होता है. ये पोस्ट ग्रेजुएशन लेवल का होता है टेक्निकली. एंड इसमें आपको लिटरेचर जो लेना रहेगा, सो जो आप लेसन्स एंड पोएम्स बोल रहे हैं, द सिलेबस इज वेरी इलाबरेट. आप एक बार लिटरेचर का सिलेबस देखेंगे तो यू विल अंडरस्टैंड दैट देयर आर अ लॉट ऑफ एस्पेक्ट्स टू इट. And next is from Narendra. So if I take mathematics, then the level of questions will be based on 10+2 or graduation level. Okay, so mathematics यहाँ पे I believe आप optional की बात कर रहे हैं. तो optional जो होता है वो जैसे मैंने मेंशन किया, पोस्ट ग्रेजुएशन लेवल का ऑप्शनल होता है आपका. आप कोई भी सब्जेक्ट लेंगे एटलीस्ट पीजी लेवल का आपका ऑप्शनल होता है. मैथमेटिक्स आप पास्ट ईयर, आई वुड सजेस्ट नरेंद्र कि आप पास्ट ईयर्स के 5 इयर्स 10 इयर्स के पेपर्स ले लीजिए मैथमेटिक्स ऑप्शनल के, एंड बेस्ड ऑन दैट आप उसके बाद डिसाइड करिए कि इफ मैथमेटिक्स इज गुड इनफ फॉर यू या फिर आपको कुछ और लेना है. सो नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन is RS Agrawal good for UPSC point of view? Okay, so RS Agrawal, I believe the name is Pooja. So RS Agrawal जो होता है, ये RS Agrawal आपके CSAT के लिए रहता है. CSAT that is Civil Service Aptitude Test, जो हमने प्रीलिम्स में देखा था. प्रीलिम्स का पेपर 2 है CSAT. तो CSAT के लिए आपको कौन से एक सेक्शन होता है, जो मैथमेटिक्स का सेक्शन होता है, वो वाले सेक्शन में आपको RS Agrawal से ही प्रिपेयर करना पड़ता है. एंड उसमें मैक्सिमम जो टॉपिक्स आते हैं यूजुअली प्रॉफिट एंड लॉस, रेशियो एंड प्रोपोर्शन, परम्यूटेशन कॉम्बिनेशन, यही लेवल तक के टॉपिक्स आते हैं जो RS Agrawal में कन्वीनियंटली अवेलेबल होते हैं. इसके अलावा RS Agrawal आपको यूपीएससी के लिए और कहीं भी रिक्वायर्ड नहीं है, बिकॉज अनलेस कि आप ऑप्शनल अपना ले रहे हो मैथमेटिक्स. उसके अलावा क्वांट्स और मैथमेटिक्स और कोई भी स्टेज पे नहीं आएगा यूपीएससी. सो RS Agrawal ओनली फॉर CSAT पेपर 2. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज वुड लाइक टू आस्क व्हाट टॉपिक्स टू बी कवर्ड फ्रॉम PM Bakshi. Okay, I am done with M Lakshmikant, RS Maheshwari and Subhash Kashyap. Okay, all right. So PM Bakshi usually is a book of reference for all the these constitutional aspects that we see. तो usually कैसा होता है, अगर आप कोई भी प्रॉपर फैकल्टी के पास जाएंगे फॉर पॉलिटी और फॉर ऑल दीज एरियाज, सो यू विल फाइंड दैट द फैकल्टी इज मेजरली रेफरिंग M Lakshmikant, एंड PM Bakshi आता है सिर्फ और सिर्फ प्रॉपर लॉज में, प्रॉपर आर्टिकल्स को इलैबोरेट करने के लिए. सो PM Bakshi में देयर इज नो पर्टिकुलर टॉपिक एज सच. लक्ष्मीकांत जैसे आपने मेंशन किया, लक्ष्मीकांत अगर आपने पूरा पढ़ लिया है, सो जस्ट इन केस आपको कोई भी आर्टिकल्स में कंफ्यूजन है, तो वहां पे PM Bakshi 1 इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट, सिलेबस वाइज PM Bakshi इज अ रेफरेंस बुक. तो आप कोई भी दिल्ली में भी देखेंगे, कहीं भी इंडिया में देखेंगे, तो PM Bakshi is considered as a reference book to all these standard books, Lakshmikant and Subhash Kashyap and all other books. तो PM Bakshi is a reference book. So ऐसा कोई कवरेज पॉइंट नहीं होता कि PM Bakshi से आपको एक्स्ट्रा कुछ कवर करना है. So that is the point. And next is someone asked me to vote for McGraw-Hill instead of RS Agrawal. Okay, so Pooja has asked this question again. So like I had mentioned, Pooja, जो आपका क्वांट्स का लेवल होता है CSAT में, that is up till +2 level. तो अगर आप McGraw-Hill से भी पढ़ रहे हैं, so that's not an issue. RS Agrawal is a very standardized book, इसलिए मैक्सिमम लोग RS Agrawal प्रेफर करते हैं. But then McGraw-Hill also you can go with McGraw-Hill book as well. The only thing is that आपके concepts, जो भी मैंने टॉपिक्स अभी मेंशन किया था, आप रेशियो एंड प्रोपोर्शन की बात कर ले, स्पीड टाइम डिस्टेंस की बात कर लीजिए, या फिर आप कोई भी चीज की बात करेंगे, तो उसमें जो भी प्राइमरी कॉन्सेप्ट होता है कोई भी टॉपिक का, इफ यू आर एबल टू क्रैक दैट कॉन्सेप्ट, देन आप कोई भी बुक से रेफर करें, दैट इज मोर देन इनफ. बिकॉज CSAT का और क्वांट्स का लेवल बहुत ज्यादा नहीं होता है इन प्रिलिमिनरी स्टेज. एज एन क्वांट्स का लेवल यूपीएससी में बहुत ज्यादा नहीं होता है. सो प्राइमरीली आप यू कैन रेफर आइदर ऑफ द बुक्स. Okay, so this was the last doubt. Any further doubts, I'll be extremely happy to answer. Or just in case I could not make anybody understand of the previous doubts, then you can ask me further. Okay, so somebody has asked that can I contact you with the given number? Okay, so this number, yeah, of course, is the number of our office. So you can connect with the office staff, and then they'll connect with me. And then whatever queries you have, you can definitely either type in your queries with through email. There's an email ID mentioned. There are 2 email IDs mentioned over there, or else you can give a call on that number as well. So we'll be more than happy to help. And okay, so any further queries that we have or further elaboration on the existing queries?
Okay, I think queries are completed. Sir, please suggest any reference book for law subject.
Okay, so there's another doubt from Sujata that please suggest any reference book for law subject. So Sujata, I'll do one thing. I'm sharing a PDF of the general syllabus with sir. Along with that, I'll mention law books as well in the same PDF, and you can take it from sir, and then you'll understand the reference books.
Okay, sir, can we proceed, sir? I think most of the students have the queries. There is no question now in chat box. Hello. Okay, sir. Thank you very much, sir, for your valuable guidance and information on civil service examination. So you have explained in details about the UPSC preliminary examination, main examination. Then we have different optional subjects available for this particular civil service examination, various reference books and various the literature available in the various platform. You have already explained it. I once again thank you on behalf of the CEGC, Dr. Ambedkar College, Diksha Bhumi, Nagpur. Thank you very much, sir. I request all the students kindly submit the your valuable feedback so that we can improve the organization of such lecture on civil service examination. With this word, I now request Dr. Puttevar Madam for vote of thanks.
And thank you, sir. I am audible, sir.
Yes, yes.
Thank you, sir. Honorable Chief Guest, respected Principal, Professor, and all my dear friends. A very good afternoon to one and all. I, Dr. D.H. Puttevar, Assistant Professor and member of CEGC SAIL. First of all, I want to thank our Principal, Dr. B.A. Mehere ma'am, for her valuable presence. Thank you, ma'am. I want to thank our today's resource person, Mr. Anuj Singh, Director and Founder, Educulture India, for his valuable insights on the today's topic of civil service examination, future opportunities for aspiring student. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much.
I also want to thank Dr. Sailesh Bahadure for his informative and valuable guidance. I also want to thank coordinator of CEGC SAIL and coordinator of today's guest lecture, Dr. N.G. Telkapallivar, sir. Thank you very much, sir. I also want to thank member of CEGC SAIL, Mr. P.S. Panse, Dr. R.C. Savar, and Mr. Manoj Andraskar for their unending support. Thank you, sir. Thank you all the students for being with us today, without whom it would not have been possible. I would like to thank everyone present here who have helped in making this guest lecture a success. Thank you very much. Thank you one and all. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am.
Sir, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.